Hello everyone, welcome to the next part of the Tomb Raider 4 The Last Revelation playthrough, where we're looking for all secrets. You won't know this, but I have already been through this entire level recording, and I recorded it all. We found all the secrets and we saved the game, and then I found that the game capture system hadn't worked properly, probably because I didn't do it correctly, and so now I'm doing it all over again. I won't tell you the hassles I've had to get back to here. Let's just say that my Tomb Raider skills are now much improved after having to replay this game for quite a few times for a variety of reasons which I won't go into. It has been a nightmare, but anyway, let's forget all that. Welcome. Here we are again. You will remember that we last left the game where Lara Croft had just arrived in Egypt. There was a cutscene that showed that she was working with her guide, who's actually there in front of us, to find some hidden place, tomb in the desert. And once they'd found the mechanism that opened the tomb, the sand beneath them suddenly dropped away and they fell down some sort of tunnel, and here is where they've ended up. So they've ended up in some dark, deep place underground, and this is where we are now. So although I've already done it today already completely, I am not going to let that spoil it for me, but we will proceed to find the secrets again. The great thing is, and you won't know this, is that when I actually did this the first time, I had a lot of trouble finding one of the secrets, but now I know exactly where it is. I'm just going to check the corners here just so that you can see. I happen to know that there's no secrets in there now because I've played this game today, but just so that you can see that there's nothing in there. I'm going to use the flares quite a lot. I don't normally in a Tomb Raider game, and I think a lot of Tomb Raider players don't. They're like me. They try to hold on to their collectibles as much as possible. But the thing is that these games are so dark these days that I want to make sure that you can actually see the game. I have checked out a few games before. This is the shotgun that we're picking up here on the internet. Before I did this, I wanted to get a feel for what was out there, and I did notice that some of the games were so dark that you actually couldn't see anything on the playthroughs, and I don't want that to happen here. So I'm going to try and use lots of flares where possible. But of course we're restricted on how many we have, so we'll see how we get on. We didn't run out last time when I did this level before, so we shouldn't run out now, because I obviously know exactly where we're going, and it's going to be so much more easy to get through the level, which is a shame in a way, because it was a good playthrough. It was interesting trying to find those secrets and making all those mistakes, but no worries. This time I have checked about 10 times that we are actually recording, and we are, so everything should be okay. It was so frustrating to see after I'd finished. I'd done something. It must have taken me about half an hour, 40 minutes to do everything, and then I had a look at the size of the file that had been captured, and basically what I'd been doing was recording the bits when I thought I'd got the system on pause, and pausing when I thought I was recording, so completely back to front. Anyway, enough of that now. Let's concentrate on the game. This is a marvellously atmospheric sort of start to the game proper. I know we've had the tutorial in Cambodia where we were introduced to Von Croy and given a little bit of insight into Lara's background story, where she was a protege of this world famous archaeologist. But this is the game proper, and it's such a beautiful game, considering it's only a PlayStation 1 game, and that's the thing that we have to remember. The graphics are absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful. I'm a big fan. That's our first secret, by the way. I'm a big fan of core design anyway, but I just think they were exceptionally gifted in designing levels that really, even with all the blocky graphics and all the pixelated resolutions, really give you a feel for actually being in the area that you're meant to be. This really does feel like some deeply hidden, lost Egyptian tomb that we're stumbling across, or it does to me anyway. I hope it gives you the same vibe. And there's a small medipack. So I'm running. See how dark it is without the flares? I'm running everywhere as if I've got sixth sense, but that's because, like I said, I've done this. In fact, I've done this level twice now this morning, because of when we first did it, I couldn't find one of the secrets, so I had to redo the level. There are 5 secrets, by the way, in this particular level. We found one already. Let me just show you. That's the stats screen. I couldn't find it before, but I found it now. Previously in Tomb Raider games, you would get one of these screens for the individual levels, but in this particular game it's just for the entire game. So when it says secrets found at the bottom, that 70 is the total for the whole game, whereas before you would know, it would just say it for the level, and you would know how many you needed to find for that particular level. So it makes it more difficult, but as I said in the previous video, I've actually written down how many secrets per level we need to find, which will make it easier for me hunting for them. So far we have 9 out of 70. At the end of this level we need to have 13, so we've still got another 4 to go. And we're coming up to a secret now, and this is the one before that I missed, and the reason I missed it is, if we have a look, let's just get him to trigger that, and I'll just shoot scorpions. Okay, have a look at the wall. There's some little holes in there, and if you put your hand through one of them, it activates a mechanism that does something in this room that I'm now going to go to, and basically fills it with sand. And once the sand is in there completely, you can't access the secret. So it fills this sort of big hole with sand, and that's why we missed the secret before. And the secret is actually in there, and it is some shotgun shells for scorpions. Now, be careful with these scorpions, not these ones in particular, but in this game there are a lot of scorpions because we're in the desert. There's also a little half medipack there. There's a lot of scorpions because we're in the desert, and although they don't take a lot of health from you when they bite you, some of them are poisonous, and in the later levels, if you get bitten by one of them, you will be poisoned, and that will mean that you have to take a medipack to get rid of the poisonous effects, which are basically a continuous drain on your health. Okay, so let's just check the corners. Aha, some more flares. Anything in there? No. Very difficult to see the items in these games. And let's put our hand in that hole, which is the mechanism which raises the level of the sand in that hole. So we have to go back in there. Let's just check out the other holes. A nice big medipack. This one we can't get to because you see that the floor is not exactly even, so the game won't allow you to stick your hand in there. Now what are these? Some more flares. Lovely. Because we are going to use a lot, because this game is so dark. In fact, I'll just check how many flares we have. We have 41. Okay, we have 2 pillars here. One of them has a health pack on, a half medipack, and the other one has an item that obviously we're going to use in some shape or form. Just as a tip, what I'd recommend is in this game, if ever you're given that scenario, always pick up the health pack or the bullets first, because sometimes by picking up the object, the item that you're going to do something with, that's not a medipack or not bullets, it can activate something, which means that you wouldn't then be able to access the other pillar. That hasn't happened in this case, but it can happen. So if you ever are in that situation where you've got that choice, always go for the bullets and the health items first. That opened a door for our guide to go through, so we just follow him through there. And it leads us into this room that has a large pillar with a rope above it. Over there is where you can see the light, is a corridor for us to access. And then on this side of the room, anybody who's ever played Tomb Raider will know that's a kind of keyhole. It's not strictly a keyhole, but we're going to need some sort of mechanism to open that. It looks to me like the Eye of Horus, and we already have half of it there, the eyepiece. We need to find the other half, put those two together and use that to open that particular pathway. But first, let's get up here, because this, too far, is secret. Make sure Laura's at the bottom of the rope. She is. Nice long swing. Because of the camera angles with the rope, it can be quite tricky sometimes just getting it right. And into this little alcove. Now, because, as I've said, a little unfairly, I know everything because I've played this already this morning. What you need to be aware of is there's 2 sides you can go. That way, which way there is nothing, and then the other way, which way we're going. And you have to be careful because there is a flying, there it is, sharp thing that can really damage you if it catches you. We need to go up this side, I just want to make sure that's gone past before I pull up. And there is only a half little medipack to collect. I think we're quite safe up here. I mean, it nicks you, but it doesn't kill you, which it can do in other areas. And so we'll wait for it to go past again and jump down. There we go. So that's another secret that we've got. Let's follow our guide down the stairs. The great thing about the fact that I've already done this level is I now know also the fastest way to do this level. And so I will do that for this particular level, but in future don't expect me to be able to do that. This is not a walkthrough as such because it's been so long since I played the game. When I actually did this level before, I actually got stuck a few times because I'd forgotten what actually needed to happen, what needed to be done. So in some ways it's kind of like a half-blind walkthrough. So we combine that with that to make a whole one.
No.
And make sure we're right on top of that, and then we're in. This is our first jackal. If we hadn't have shot him, which we did, our guide would have used his torch. There we go, see him. Would have used his torch to burn the poor thing. So we do have some extra defense here. And you do feel a sense of, I know it's dumb, but you feel a sense of attachment to your guide. Now this is a beautiful, beautiful room. What we have here in front of us is some kind of, I forget the technical name, Egyptian head, like you would get on the Sphinx, a huge statue. There are things that we are going to have to do around there. There's a couple of secrets around there that we need to collect, and there are things to do below. But I now know that the quickest way to go is to follow the guide first. So we will be doing that. But before we do that, I need to just collect a few items, which are here. So if I get up there so we can see, there's some Uzi bullets down here. When you play lots of Tomb Raider games, you get a feel for where items will have been hidden and where the secrets will tend to be. And these particular areas are prime areas to find things to pick up. You also get a feel for where spikes are likely to be and where boulders are likely to suddenly roll on you. Okay, that gated area is something that we probably won't use ourselves, but the guide will run through it to get to us in a later part of the game. And when that happens, I'll remind you of that. So we're in this beautiful room that is, I mean, I'm presuming that is oil that he has lit. And look at those gorgeous pictures on the walls and those beautiful stars on the ceiling. I just love this kind of look and feel. It sends shivers down my spine. It's just so beautiful. Okay, that's the way that the guide has gone. and he's found himself stuck. I'll show you. Oh, I won't bother going all the way down. He's down there and he's come across a gated doorway and he can't get past. So we're going to have to go this way to help him. And if I just get down there, there is a medipack in there. And we have now found ourselves in a darkened room. And what's interesting is if you look at that ceiling with those patterns on it, we will actually make our way now up so that we're stood on top of that. That will become the floor for us, and will form part of a puzzle that we're going to do. Now originally when I came across this, I thought it was some sort of tricky puzzle maze thing, because what we have here is we have two gated doorways and then the doorway that we've just come through, which also has a gate above it that can come down and lock it. But it actually isn't. It's just a reset mechanism for the puzzle that we're going to do now. So if we go wrong on this puzzle, going through those gates will allow us to reset it. But I'm going to go through there anyway because there's a pickup that I want to get. So to begin the puzzle, we'll pull this long chain. That allows the guard in through where he was stuck previously, and he's going to light the oil in that darkened room below us. And we're now stood on the pattern ceiling, and as you can see, there's some key lit up areas of the floor, which form part of the puzzle. I will come back to that. Let me just go and collect the pickup that I saw in here previously, so that I can satisfy my my game OCD-ness that I mentioned previously. So here we have another shotgun, and I'm presuming it's unusual to find two guns, but I'm presuming that if you hadn't found the original shotgun, oops, I know what I need to do, then that would have been there for you to make sure that you did find it. In my inventory, I won't have two shotguns, even though I've picked up two. I'll just have one, but that will have counted as extra bullets. So back to the puzzle now, and it's quite easy. There are 5 lit areas of the floor, and the key is to step on them in order and not hit any of the surrounding areas, only to stand on those areas. And what they do is they light up the torches ahead of us on the wall. You see that there's one lit up there. There are 5 in total, and 5 torches will light up, and then the little gated area beneath the torches will open, and we'll be able to access that. It's an easy puzzle, but you have to be careful that you don't step even a foot outside the square that you want to get on, otherwise it ruins the puzzle and you have to start all over again. So that's the second one. That's 2 lights, lit lanterns. That's 3 on the wall ahead of us. And I've done it wrong, you see. So if they've gone out, that means you've done it wrong. Although I can't see how I've done it wrong. What did I do wrong? I did do it wrong. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset it, guys. Okay, here we are. This time we're gonna do it. So keeping right within the orange bit. And not landing on the brown bits. There we go. Easy. And what we've picked up here is a key game item. And I'll just show it you. It's called the Timeless Sands. So it's one of those egg timer sand items. Oh, gosh, I forget what they're called. Which brings us into here. We are now beneath the head statue, whereas before, when we first entered this room, we were looking sort of straight at its eyes, if not a little bit higher than that. I just want to check if there's anything in that corner. There isn't. Our guide has followed us down. Remember earlier I said there was a gated door that he would come through, but we wouldn't use it ourselves. This is to get to here. So he's obviously seen something that has terrified him. Some words or something, which if you're playing this for the first time, creates a strong feeling of tension. A convoy of scorpions there, because it's implicit that if he's frightened, there must be something quite scary there. There's some more shotgun shells. I happen to know that there isn't anything scary in here, so I haven't even bothered to get my guns out. And all we do is we place this Timeless Sands in this statue's hands, and that activates some sort of mechanism that fills the room with sand. And basically what it's doing is it's draining the sand out from the room above, which is the room that contains the sphinx-like head. Which leads us to where we need to go. Just get that scorpion there, which took quite a few bullets to kill. And then we'll go and collect a couple of secrets and we can be on our way. Here's where we find the secrets. Down by the side of the sphinx-like head, I know that's not really what it's called, but I can't think of a better name. There's a gated little hollow there, and in there is one of the secrets, which we will come back to once we've opened the gate. So we're climbing up the side of the head now, and it's quite a long climb. There's white bits there on the wall. I think they're meant to be cobwebs. So here we are in quite a dark little area. There's nothing to collect, only the lever to pull, and this lever opens the little gated hollow that we just saw. But we're not going to go there straight away because we're going to collect the other secret first, and that means going actually across the head of this this statue. And because it's quite tricksy, we need to jump there. And we're really high up. I'm going to save the game. If I don't save, I'll fall, even though it's a relatively easy jump. If I do save, I shouldn't fall. Okay, there we go. And then we're walking across the top of the head of the statue to an alcove that's virtually identical on the other side. There we go. And that should be, oops, our final secret. Let's check our game stats. No. Where have I forgotten a secret? Let me just check. I did get them all, didn't I? Oh, so what am I, nuts? I need to go back and get the one in the gated area. Oh gosh, I was having a bit of a panic there. So we are on the other side of the Sphinx's head, and there are nothing, there's no collectibles or anything this side. I have already checked all that, but I'll just quickly run around to show you. I also climbed up all those rocky bits there to see if there was anything in there, but there isn't. So let's go and find the gated hollow that is now open to collect the final secret of this level. There we go. More shotgun shells. The difference between the blue and the red ones is that the blue shotgun shells are the wide angle shotgun shells, so they have a greater spread. I believe that's what the difference is meant to be anyway. I don't tend to use a lot of the other weapons if I can help it. I do tend to stick with the pistols as much as possible, but we'll see how this goes. I don't want to be dying all the time, so I may have to, for the purposes of this playthrough, use better weaponry. We are nearly at the end of the level. If I just move forward, there is a slope here leading down into some darkness, and that's the end of the level. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was very quick and very short. That is because, as I said, I've already played through this level twice already this morning. I am now an expert on it. The first time I played through took a lot longer, so please don't expect in the next levels to be just as short and for me to know exactly where to go. In the next level we are about to go into the burial chambers, and there are 5 secrets in there as well, so please join me for that if you can, and thanks for listening and take care.